Let's catch up then with our reporter Vanessa Poonah in Cape Town, where Patrick van der Loo, the Pfizer Global Vice President and Regional President of Middle East and Africa, is at the Biovac Institute in Cape Town. Of course, you were waiting for him the last time we spoke. I do believe you're with him now. Let me hand over to you then, Vanessa.
Thank you so much, Flo. Yes, with me is Mr. Patrick van der Loo, and I know that he's just completed a site visit here at the Biovac Institute. So let me get right into it, Mr. van der Loo. Very warm good afternoon to you, sir. So since the letter of intent signed in July last year between Pfizer as well as the Biovac Institute, what has transpired since? You've just completed your site visit here today. What can you tell us?
So first of all, thank you very much for having me. And it's been an amazing site visit. I think in line with what we've seen during the pandemic and other sites that Pfizer itself operates, we've seen that really Biovac has been moving at what we call light speed in order to get ready to receive drug product from the Pfizer sites, both in Germany and in Belgium, and to get ready to basically start treating that product and making sure that the vials get out to patients in the African Union.
So, Mr. van der Loo, so at the time that this letter of intent or this collaboration came about, we here in South Africa were at the height of a third wave, a deadly Delta wave. What we've seen since is a somewhat milder Omicron variant, and also with that, some sort of vaccine hesitancy, at least here in South Africa. How does this have an impact on vaccine supply and making sure that the vaccines are available to all 55 member states if the uptake is proving to be a bit of a problem in terms of people not coming forward as they did for vaccine uptake?
That's a very good point, because what we're seeing now is that across the continent, the average vaccination rate is roughly below 20%, with countries even below 5% in some cases. So there's a lot to be done, and basically the speed with which we're getting the shots in population arms needs to increase by roughly ninefold in order to get to the WHO objective of getting to 70% vaccination by the end of this summer. Now, having said that, this is a site that specifically is going to manufacture for the African Union. So through either the bilateral contracts that we have, but as well the contracts that we have with the COVAX organization as well as the US government, these doses are going to be allocated to these countries in collaboration with these countries that can receive them in order to make sure that people get vaccinated properly.
So for the past few months, we've seen investment, we've seen skills transfer, and we've seen really equipping this facility to end up manufacturing those end stage doses. Are you satisfied with what has been coming together over the past few months?
No, we're literally right on track. The plan now is within the next few weeks to really start running trial batches at the Biovac facility. The freezer farm, which will be the largest freezer farm in the country, will be up and running by this summer as well, so that we are on track to this year deliver 23 million doses out of this facility.
When do we see the first batch coming through?
That will be Q3 of this year.
And just one last question that I have before I hand back to studio. So it's top of mind at the moment, the conflict between Russia and the Ukraine. What sort of impact will this have, especially when it comes to getting those drug samples, or what's the terms, drugs from the European Union to South Africa? Will there be an impact in terms of us being able to produce here, given the situation globally?
No, that's a very fair point, and I think there are two potential problems. One is obviously currently with the exodus of more than 10 million people out of the Ukraine, new variants and other problems can quickly disseminate either in Europe and globally, so that's one big problem. The other is that many of the supply chains that supply these products are global in nature. However, at this point in time we do not foresee a problem with any of the supply that will go into the Biovac facility.
Mr. van der Loo, thank you so much for your time this afternoon. So, of course, Mr. Patrick van der Loo speaking to us here from the Biovac Institute in Pinelands in Cape Town as he's just completed his site visit as this partnership between Biovac as well as Pfizer continues to manufacture COVID-19 vaccines.
All right, thanks very much to you there, Vanessa Poonah in Cape Town for us, chatting to Patrick van der Loo, the Pfizer Global Vice President and Regional President of Middle East and Africa, of course, at the Biovac Institute there.